Let's see. Oh, that looks cool. Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? Here with me and Alice, and I'm going to talk about my complete history of Nightmare on Elm Street, all the movies with reviews and everything, and my personal history with the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Now, back in the 80s, it was pretty much Halloween, Friday the 13th, and then all the copycats, pretty much. And then in '84, Wes Craven released Nightmare on Elm Street on the world, and it was I didn't know what to think of it because it came out. It wasn't like it didn't have. I didn't see ads for it or anything like that. And it came out and played at the Mill Creek Mall when they had the indoor theaters. And my one friend at school said that they went to see it, and after about 40 minutes, their one friend left the theater, and they were just walking around. And then, whenever they were done watching, they went to the guy in the mall, and he said that, I couldn't really watch anymore. It was too scary. And I didn't see it till much later, till like when we got a VCR, and they had, all the stuff that was on from New Line Cinema at the time went to Media Home Entertainment. At least the Nightmare on Elm Street stuff did, and the Hidden and stuff like that. And then Nightmare on Elm Street became a major, massive hit for the company. And then they realized they might have a franchise on their hands. And the very first original Nightmare on Elm Street was very scary. Had John Saxon in it, Heather Langenkamp, which it has a very. I mean, usually I want to remember something, but her name is so familiar. Just because of the last name, like Heather Langenkamp or Heather Matheson or Marge Helgenberger, but they were in different shows. And Heather's my friend too, and Heather Matheson, and it was a very entertaining film. I really liked the original. Nightmare on Elm Street is a true classic, and actually very frightening and scary for the time. And it was very different. It was very imaginative, more use on like special effects and imagination and being in a dream state, because of course Freddy was a killer that would kill you when you're in your sleep. And then they said it was a decent hit and made a lot of money, but I mean I didn't hear any advertisement for it. And then whenever Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge came around, I saw a million commercials for that. I never saw a commercial for Nightmare on Elm Street. I saw a million commercials for all the other Elm Street movies. And I remember when it came out, everyone said it sucked really bad, including my friend John Walkowitz. And I remember reading a review in Showcase, which was like the Thursday thing. The guy hated it, and I eventually rented it. I rented Nightmare on Elm Street too, of course, and I watched that. I eventually rented Freddy's Back, and I thought it was pretty decent for what it was. And it was cool because on Netflix, I got to brush up on a couple of Nightmare movies I haven't seen in a while. Because I only saw Nightmare on Elm Street 2 once, back when I rented it back in '86, so I haven't seen it in 30 years. I watched it last night. It's alright. It was a little silly, but it was entertaining. I think they kind of screwed up when they tried to make it like he's trying to find a conduit, a guy to kill for him, or like use a body. They had a couple good parts when he goes, "You got the body and I got the brains." And he peeled back his scalp and stuff like that. It had its moments. I give that a 7 out of 10. And I watched that. They had like I watched that 4-hour documentary too, but I'll get to that in a little bit. But I did like the movie, but it wasn't the best one. And I remember when, and they said it was a letdown for the company too. Because it was weird. New Line Cinema used to be, when I rented a lot of the John Waters movies, I found out that New Line Cinema was around since the early 70s as just a distribution company. And they started doing some movies, and they did like 3 movies, including Alone in the Dark, which is one that the kids at school used to talk about all the time. At least 1 or 2 kids when I was in high school. It was kind of like a slash film. That was a really good movie. And then, like I said, whenever the first Nightmare on Elm Street came out, New Line Cinema became known as the house that Freddy built, because they got really popular off the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Because the other 3 movies that they did, stunts, Alone in the Dark, and one other one didn't really do that well, but when Nightmare on Elm Street came around, it did really well. Well, anyways, they went on to do Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors, and that was a huge, massive hit with the fans, and had a very young Patricia Arquette in her very first movie role. It was really good, and I remember seeing that. It came out February of February '87. I went in the Army November 24th of '87. That was my senior year of high school, and I remember renting it. I think Danny Swift came over to one neighbor, and we saw it, and it was a very entertaining film. I really liked Dream Warriors a lot, and I actually have that. I think my dad bought that for me on DVD back when they reduced a lot of the DVDs to like $5. That's the only Nightmare movie I have on. It's the only Nightmare on Elm Street movie I have on DVD is the third one, and yeah, it's really good. Now that gets a full-on 10 out of 10. And it's weird because they were talking about heavy metal in there, and they asked Dokken, the band Dokken, to play that Dream Warriors song. Here's something they didn't mention in that documentary. There was a band called SOD who did Speak English or Die, and they did a Freddy Krueger song. They said that they were going to use the Freddy Krueger song in that movie. Or they asked them to do a Freddy Krueger song, and that song's really cool. And they even had a picture in Fangoria magazine with them posing with Freddy Krueger and stuff like that. And then at the last minute, New Line Cinema decided to go with Dokken. And this is Scott Ian's words, not mine, on that. Well, what the hell was it? On the SOD video, they said that Freddy officially became a fag, and they wanted to sell it and play and have Dokken instead of them. And in the documentary, Never Sleep Again, the Elm Street Legacy, they said that was the first DVD to have a music video in it. No, it was not. New World had Demons out, the movie Demons from a few years back, and it had the video. It had that video from Crime Story of I'm Walking in the Rain or something like that. That's a classic song. His version of that. I think that was the very first music video. They kind of left filmed on that. Because at the end of Dream Warriors, they had like the music video and a whole bunch of other tie-in stuff. And then they had, I went in the Army. And then sometime when I was in Fort Gordon, Georgia, I guess Dream Warriors Part 4, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, Dream Master came out. And like I said, I didn't get a chance to see it then. And they had, when that came out, Freddy became really popular again, and they had like a whole bunch of stuff. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I saw that later when I was in Germany, and I remember seeing it. I'm a big fan of Rennie Harlan. I mean, I loved his movies, and I love Fort Fairlane. I don't care what anyone says. Fort Fairlane was awesome. Like I said, I saw that in Germany, Garlstedt, Germany, and I loved it. I give that full on 10 out of 10, and it was like the most. At the time, it was the most successful independent film ever. Back at the time, it made a lot of money, and that's when like he really broke into the mainstream. You hear him in a lot of pulp culture. They did that song. I think Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff did Nightmare on My Street. I think, and they had Freddy Krueger rapping. I believe it was with them. I think. And they released the show Freddy's Nightmares. And whenever I came home from Fort Bragg, I'm not from Fort Bragg, Fort Gordon, Georgia. This is before I went into Germany, and I saw a movie in Germany. I heard they had the show on, but it wasn't on any of the local channels. I think it was on a Chicago channel. I think I saw like a few seconds of it or something like that. I didn't see any of the Freddy's Nightmares until I got out of the Army, and they had a few on. They were selling a couple of them. I think I bought 2 or 3 of them, and I wasn't too impressed with those. I remember I bought, the only one I remember offhand was Lucky Stiff. I think they had David Lauder from Laverne and Shirley, a guy who wins a lottery ticket. It was all right. I mean, I give those like 5 or 6 out of 10 or something like that. And these go all over the place because when in the Army, if you see in the military theater, it's like a second-run movie. And a whole bunch of other stuff happened. And in the Army, you don't always have time to see movies at the theater and stuff like that. It all depends on your work schedule and stuff like that or what's going on. And like I said, they had a whole bunch of stuff in pulp culture, including I remember at the library, 'cause you go to the library and they rented movies there, and they had a movie. They had a VCR and TV in a day room, which is what they call a break room, and they call it a day room. I remember at work, I rented. 'Cause I always try to rent a movie and we'd watch it at work whenever it was slow. And I remember renting, for whatever reason, I don't know why, it was a new release, Nightmare on Drug Street. And I thought it would have something with Freddy Krueger and stuff like that. It didn't. And it was an anti-drug thing because, I mean, if you did drugs in the military, you were really stupid. Because you were always piss tested all the time. Especially in basic and in AIT, like every 30 days, you know. And in permanent party, it was like at certain times, hey, Alice, why don't you come up here? And basically what Nightmare on Drug Street was these three kids that were three teenagers and one preteen. They're all dead, and they were talking about their experiences with drugs. And then one kid, two of them were like established actors or went on to become famous actors. One was Raymond Cruz, and the other was Adam Jeffries, who played that smart alecky kid on that TV show True Colors on Fox a long, long time ago. And basically, it was like an anthology series. They're all dead. It was like at 40 minutes long, and they talk about every story. Like the one guy, Raymond Cruz, he gets in a car accident. It's kind of really depressing though, but it has a good message. I give that it's really weird. It's not a Nightmare on Elm Street thing, but it was just, I got it as a curiosity piece. I know my roommate really liked it because I watched it with my roommate who I worked with at the time, and like I said, it wasn't a bad little thing. It's kind of really depressing though. It gets a 7.5 out of 10. It's on YouTube because I haven't seen it since I rented it back in 88 or 89. It was a new release at the library, and I think that's the main reason I got it, is because the new release at the library, because everything at the library always goes quick, if it's a new release. And like I said, I thought it had something to do with Freddy, and it didn't. And it was weird because whenever the three kids were talking, and one kid did the title, and it said, yeah, Nightmare on Drugs. And then I guess they added Nightmare on Drug Street to try to sell it more. And then it was like released from Twin Tower and MCA Universal, and then Steven Spielberg was in the credits, believe it or not. The lighting was terrible on it, and it was weird because on the YouTube channel, because I just saw it again. I checked it out on YouTube just to watch it again, just to, just the nostalgia, I guess. And it was weird because basically that one person, Conrad Dork or something like that, had basically Barney videos and Sesame Street, and all of a sudden Nightmare on Drug Street, including like 8-year-olds talking about blowing up a school and doing crack and stuff like that. It's really strange, but depressing though. So anyways, not too long ago, I guess there wasn't much of a wait time. Like I said on that documentary, there was like lots of rush projects. And then not too long after that came Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. And I remember I went to see the movie just by myself, and I run into this one guy who likes horror films like I do. And we were talking about big time before the movie, during the movie, and then after the movie. And I don't know what happened to the guy. But it was a really good movie. I really enjoyed that. They said that was the least well received of the first 6 movies. And they said one guy, the Bob Shea, the founder, CEO of New Line Cinema, said it was lame. I liked it. I especially liked the opening scene in the asylum. That was really cool. And I like Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. But it wasn't as good as 3 and 4, probably the best. They were both 10 out of 10s. The Rennie Harlan one was awesome. 10 out of 10 on that. And the Dream Master. Oh, and whenever Dream Warriors did that one guy, Kincaid, he came back in Dream Master, and when he came back, the audience cheered, the soldiers cheered in that. And like I said, now going back to part 5, like I'm all over the place. I saw it at the military theater in Germany again because it was like, it came out within a year of each other, real close. And like Freddy Krueger said, Robert Englund said that there was a big rush on that to get that out. And then after that, the fans were kind of disappointed, I guess. But no, I liked the movie. And they decided, they were at a crossroads, and they decided to come out with part 6, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. Now that was highly advertised too. When I saw that at a regular movie theater, and I saw it in Fort Detrick, Maryland. And that came out, I think they said September 17th. Because I just saw that documentary. September 17th or September 13th of 91. And I got out of the Army in November 22nd of 91. So it was like within a little more, I had like less than 2.5 months left in the Army when I saw it. And it was cool. The one thing I didn't know was in 3D. They had a part in 3D and they gave out 3D glasses. And they said that the problem was most people didn't know when to put the 3D glasses on. But it says right on the side. It says whenever that girl puts on her glasses, put on your glasses. And when she did, I did. In the last 10 minutes. I really enjoyed that movie too. That was a lot of fun. A couple of disturbing deaths in it though. Alice Cooper was in it, which was really cool. That one gets a 9 out of 10. A lot of people were complaining about the 3D, but that was the very first and only time I've ever seen 3D in a movie theater. I really liked it. Alice, come on over. Come on up, Alice. What are you over there for? Come on up. And like I said, Freddy's Dead to Final Nightmare is very entertaining. I liked it. Alice. Boy, Alice, you got bad breath. You got stinky breath, Alice. I love you. You got bad breath. And like I said, Nightmare on Elm Street. Well, Freddy's Dead to Final Friday was. What's it? No. Freddy's Dead to Final Nightmare. Or whatever it was. Damn, I got screwed up. Freddy's Dead or the Final Nightmare or something, whatever. No, Freddy's Dead, Nightmare on Elm Street 6 or something like that. That was really good. I get a little tongue-tied with the movies and stuff. And that was supposed to be the final Friday. And then some of these are linked into the documentary I just saw. And they were talking about... And that was pretty much it for the movie series. And then I heard that the one guy, Bob Shea from New Line Cinema, said that we're talking to... heard some interviews with Wes Craven. He said that he felt that he wasn't given a fair shake with the Elm Street series. And then Bob Shea got in contact with him and he said, well, let me try to make it right. And he gave him some a cut of profits from all the sequels. And also he asked if you direct another movie. And he decided to do it. And it was a movie within a movie. And I saw this again on Netflix because I only saw it once. And this was Wes Craven's New Nightmare. It was a reinvention of the movie. It's like a movie inside a movie with led on to the Scream movies. Even though I saw all three of the Scream movies, they're only like, I don't know, I'm not a fan of the Scream movies at all. I didn't see Scream 4 though. I had a chance to see it on Netflix. I watched 20 minutes of it and I went to sleep. I never bothered to watch it again. It's not on Netflix anymore. The Scream movies, I've seen all three of them in the theaters. I liked them at the time, but I only think they were good for like one viewing and stuff like that. I think it kind of killed the genre. Because, they had after New Nightmare, they had the Scream movies, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and that was kind of it for the slasher films until eventually Jason X came out and stuff like that, and eventually, slowly, they started coming back, But I think that the Scream movies did more to hurt the horror genre than help it. Oh, wow, I got 4 comments. Wow. I got to check those out. And, Wes Craven's New Nightmare is very good. I only saw it once on cable. And the reason is because I think the parts were pretty disturbing with the little boy, but he was a really good actor, but that made the movie so much more compelling. And then when I saw a documentary and they had the kid playing actors, that he had a great time, so I didn't feel as bad. Nightmare on Elm Street, Wes Craven's New Nightmare is fantastic. Very compelling, very watchable, and really holds up. Holds up more than Nightmare on Elm Street 2 did. I saw Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, then that, what's it, Evil Never Sleep Again, the Nightmare Legacy, the documentary, and I saw that Nightmare on Drug Street. I just saw that. So though I did bone up a little bit on the Elm Street movies. And like I said, that's a full-on 10 out of 10. And it had like a lot of the cast members from the original Nightmare on Elm Street, which is really cool. That's a full-on 10 out of 10. Very entertaining. I really enjoyed that. That's a great, great movie. And then that was pretty much it for the Elm Street series, And then, well, whenever they brought back Friday the 13th, Jason Goes to Hell, there's a scene at the end where you see Freddy's claw come in and bring down Jason's mask. And they said Kane Hodder did that role too because he played Jason. He played that. And he said that he actually played Freddy for a second in that. Um, and they were talking about Jason versus Freddy for a long, long time. It's been in development for like over 20 years. And it finally came to fruition in 2003. It was sad that they don't want Kane Hodder to play. They want someone who was a lot taller playing Jason in that. And that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed Freddy versus Jason. That was a lot of fun. And it's like a Friday the 13th part Nightmare on Elm Street film, you know. Very entertaining. And like I said, they couldn't kill Freddy off. I know how they did kill Freddy off, but that's coming up in a little bit. That's a full-on 10 out of 10. Very entertaining, very fun movie. Let me see what comments I got. Get a little distracted. Alice, come on up. Anything good? Let's see. I got a package. Someone said, nice shirt, Jason, from the Gilbert Crafts of Sausage. Kitty friend, I love that you love animals. My cats are my babies. They said, oh, Alice and Maggie are so cute. I hope it all works out. That's why I'm afraid to get a dog, I think. Kitty friend said that. Damn, he ate that so quick. You have to feed your dog some more. I'm sure that not much ain't. Wouldn't fill up the bowl, yeah. Can't beat that for the price. Cool. For my homestyle beef video. I got distracted. This video has also been requested for Magic Movie Mike at. You know, because he asked me to do some franchise videos. I do plan on doing the Halloween one sometime and Texas Chainsaw sometime. I might do a surprise one sometime. A series that no one talks about anymore. They'll probably make a remake of that too. Well, anyways, like I said, Jason vs. Freddy was very entertaining and very good. And finally, I want to talk about Evil Never Sleeps, or Never Sleep Again, the Nightmare Trilogy. Alice, what's wrong? Come on over. Come on up. What's wrong? I saw that. That's a 4-hour documentary about all. It covers all the Nightmare films from up to the first one up till Freddy vs. Jason, and then after that, it's very thorough. And it's. I remember my friend Alex Wilson told me about it. I remember seeing it around the summertime. I saw it. I was like, Jesus Christ, it's 4 hours long. I keep putting it aside because it's so long. I didn't have the time to watch it, you know. And then Alice Wilson told me a few months back to check it out. I said I would, but I just kind of just forgot about it. And I thought it was taken off of Netflix. I looked up Nightmare on Elm Street. It wasn't on there. I was like, oh, shit, I missed that. But no, it's still on there. I saw it last night. I finished watching it today. Very long, but very informative. Very good. That's a full-on 10 out of 10. Very good. And then after it goes up to Freddy vs. Jason, then it talks about in 2008, it says the house that Freddy built, and that's New Line Cinema. And because they went on a big success with like Lord of the Rings, and huge success. And it talks about like them selling Time Warner Cable, and then Robert Shea stepping down in 2008. And it was kind of sad, bittersweet, and stuff like that. And that's how the show ended. That's a really good thing on Netflix. If you get a chance, they got Freddy, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge, which isn't that great. But I mean, it's worth a watch. You know, if you haven't seen it. Like I said, I've only seen it once. It's cool. I saw it after all these years later. And then they have Wes Craven's New Nightmares, fantastic, and like that one right there was really good. Now they were always saying like they couldn't kill off Freddy because, like they said, Freddy was dead, but he came back. I think they really did kill off Freddy in 2010. They made that shitty remake with Haley Joel Osment, not Robert Englund, because they said that Robert Englund wanted to play, and they said no. And I'm glad he didn't, because that movie sucked so bad. It's a remake with no originality, horrible makeup. I thought Freddy Krueger, played by Haley Joel Osment, looked like a salamander. My friend said Ryan Platt said something real politically incorrect. He said he looked like a burn victim with Down syndrome. That's pretty bad. I mean, it sucked. Nothing in that movie was good. I think like I watched it once. I'll never watch it again. Just out of curiosity. I remember I watched, they had those people who took over Siskel and Ebert were reviewing it. And that one guy said it's probably one of the best movies he's seen in a while. Or best made movies. Like, I thought, okay, maybe it might be that bad. My friend Ryan Platt said whenever it came in the play in the theaters, people will walk out after like 10, 15 minutes of the movie. They hated it that much. I saw the whole thing. And like the last 2-3 minutes, I think it might have had a little bit of the energy of the first one. Or a little bit of the energy of the original, but it sucks so bad. And no, it never again. And I have something really cool that I found out about a year ago, or a picture of Robert Englund from a horror festival. He had a little sign up that said the 2010 remake sucked. It did suck. The 2010 remake is probably the worst out of the slasher remakes. It gets a half out of 10. Not even a full 1 out of 10. It's the pits. It don't, well, hell, I'll give it a 0 out of 10. It completely sucked. I absolutely hated the remake. So there you have it for my complete history of the Nightmare on Elm Street films. It's all over the place just because everything's so... I was in the Army, and everything was just in different chronological order and stuff like that when I got to see the movies and stuff, but that's my history of the Elm Street films. There's lots of stuff in those ones, as opposed to like the upcoming Halloween and Texas Chainsaw ones. So, there you have it. And until next time, everybody, please take care of my Legion. Alright. Hey, Alice, come on up. You want to come up and say bye? Oh, god damn it, Alice. Okay, hold on. She got stuck. Hold on. I'm going to shut the video off. I'll show her another video. See you later.